The rules only matter if they're enforced, and leadership only matters if it shows up. Today is a reaction video that I've had earmarked for a while. Yesterday, I came across the last clip needed to give you a real-world example of why Trump doesn't and cannot take South Africa seriously. And it's just another reminder that our politicians think that this is just a game, laughing while they crush a group of policemen. When you compare South African politics to American politics, it is night and day. That which is seen cannot be unseen. Guys, it's ramble time. Members of Parliament, certain groups, the EFF for sure, and now I have evidence of the MK, they are known to disrupt proceedings, and it's almost become a repetitive game that they play to score cheap political points. Julius Malema himself goes so far as to say, this time around, we have decided to not interrupt. Wow. So what's happening in these videos, it isn't even shocking anymore. In fact, it's just annoying. And that in itself is a problem. Disruption has become part of the show, not an expectation. That's how we do politics. The MK party is acting like literal children. I was honestly horrified to see this. They are pushing people back. This could have crushed somebody. They're laughing. And then just to look at the actions of our police force. Same as what we saw for the July unrest. Unsure, undecisive. They are wanting to look important, but not wanting to get involved. I am ashamed on their behalf. Honestly, ashamed. The fact that a party leader can go so far as to say, we decided not to disrupt Parliament, it basically admits that disruption was a choice all along, that the law is in his hands, that they are in control of Parliament and how the proceedings go ahead. Their voters now think that the power over Parliament is sitting in Julius's hands or the MK's hands. The voters also think that it's okay to behave like this. And then we ask, why do they burn down schools and ties in the streets? Well, just look at their leaders, acting like children. Look at them, the sort of action we need to expect from our government, especially with that EFF incident. There is an actual act in place since June 2015. It's in pictogram format nogal, and it clearly lays out the process for disruptions. So my question is, why does this judge continue to engage with the EFF, continue to repeat themselves over and over and over? Who is going to finally draw the line in the sand here? And why is this even up for discussion? Enough? I've given you 3 warnings. Buy a donkey, Chila. You know, South Africa has gone so long without the rule of law. It's almost as if we've forgotten what it is, the fact that it exists, and how to apply it. That is the situation South Africa is sitting in. The best approach to applying the rule of law, as well as training your dog and enforcing respect and discipline in your children. Consistency matters more than severity. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And everyone is the same. Potentially that's the problem in South Africa, is that according to the ANC, none of us are the same. This video is an example of enforcement of the rules and leadership. Let's take a look at what leadership means.
Small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House.
And this is a speech made by Trump. It was his 100 days in office event. And a Democratic member becomes disruptive. Whether or not his opinion was justified is irrelevant. He disrupted an official parliamentary or congressional event. The Speaker of the House, or the guy behind Trump, he gives a very clear warning. He gives the second warning. He gives a third warning. Why? Because he's following the rule of the law. And he calls out these 3 warnings. Those warnings are ignored. The member is removed. Plain and simple. The absolute disregard from the people at the very top to enforce that which they are in office to enforce. It is honestly beyond ridiculous. We need to invent new words to describe the ridiculousness of politicians in South Africa. And I'm actually referring to 3 groups specifically, the ANC, MK, and the EFF. The secret to this is that you only need to enforce the rule of law once or twice, consistently, effectively, and behavior changes very fast when people know where the line is, when they believe that it is real. And you know what? This isn't even about the embarrassment I have to feel about my country. It's about maintaining order so the institution can function. Flip. This clip is about clear leadership and the lack thereof. Allegations are reported about South Africa's police minister being involved in crime syndicates, allegedly. It took Cyril over 2 weeks to make a decision and appear in front of South Africa to explain what on earth is happening in South Africa. And if you recall correctly, he was late. He blah, blah, blahed something and even squeezed in gender-based violence. But gender-based violence looks the way it does because your police system is corrupt to the core. That's why. What a cheek. In Michigan, a 22 or a 23-year-old broke one of the hottest stories in the USA last week, if you haven't yet heard. His video is over 100 million views, and I think that's now in less than a week. His video exposed these so-called daycares that were defrauding Michigan of millions. And the thing is that after the news broke, 2 senior officials come out and speak to the public.
I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment.
You can stop it right there.
Second,
so the idea is $185 million stop.
Did you see what I saw? They were clear, they were concise, they explain the actions taken, reviews underway, and immediate safeguards. Cyril's speech, blah, 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 something about, and we'll have a commission. And don't forget unemployment, the youth, and gender-based violence. Embarrassed, horrified, mortified are my reactions to our leadership. So I do withhold my opinion on Trump, but I give him 10 out of 10, a big fat thumbs up on his fast, clear, and decisive leadership, something the world hasn't seen in a while. And leaders know that they will have enemies, that not everyone will like them. That's the game. That's why they get paid the big bucks. So here's the lesson which Cyril needs to take out of this video. All our public representatives should listen to. Weak enforcement teaches people that rules are flexible. And now they've set the precedent. Because it doesn't start with the chaos, it starts with the tolerance. The same applies to leadership. Fast, visible leadership sends a signal that somebody is in control. The world is watching South Africa very closely. So here's the takeaway in 3 points. First, rules that aren't enforced aren't rules. Second, clear warnings and clear consequences changes behavior very quickly. And third, leaders set the tone by doing what the rule of law expects of them. Their judicial duty. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you think. The display of leadership is shocking. Local elections, guys, it's the place to start. So if this breakdown was insightful, or at least made you think a little differently about something, give this video a like and then consider subscribing. Doesn't cost you a cent, gives my channel a huge boost. No pressure, just saying. Guys, thank you so much for all of your support. I appreciate every single one of you. Nikki and Paul, I give you guys a special shout out. Thank you so much. Over and out, guys. Have a great day.